creating awareness on the dangers of coming through the Mediterranean Sea. Can you tell us what other ways one can come here and live a comfortable life?
Yes. In of course, in let me say in particular in Germany, there are also some possibility. There are some possibility to come to Germany as a workforce, but the chances are sometimes very critical because many times people who comes here as a workforce never keep the discipline to move back to their various country. So it's cause the it leads to the criteria to be very critical. So the opportunity is still there. The law is still there. So maybe only that if you meet up to the criteria. These are some of the possibility to come over here uh, as a skilled worker to get some work. But if you need to have a really strong proof that you're moving back, even sometimes German embassy they give extended visa. If you apply there, they can give you 3 months. If you go for the next visa, they give you 1 year or sometimes 2 years. So, but people don't know about these opportunities. So, and those who embark on dangers of going through the Mediterranean, it has been a very horrible situation. And what you only get through the media is just half of the information. A large number of people died through the Mediterranean. And the problem is that most of the agents are very conscious of their own pocket and they undermine the value of lives that are being lost. So a lot of people move into Libya and they tell them so many lies that you go to Germany and you just get a work permit and you tell so many stories which is not true. If you come to Germany and you seek an asylum, it's a process. Even you need to stay at least 3 months before they can send you to a state or a city where you belong or where you have to go. Even sometimes you get rejection already from the what we call Einrichtungsheim. So if you get a problem, then your problem will start there. So it's not like sometimes people stayed 5 years, 5, 6 years or more, even more, before they can even have their feet stepped in here. So, and they are not telling also the diasporas need to be telling their people the truth. So sometimes they don't tell them the truth. So we need to be telling our people the truth so that they don't embark on this danger journey. I've interviewed someone who there were more than 300 in the boat and only less than 50 survived. And that's life. And probably the family are still hoping for the best for their child, but they never know the child has gone. So we need to start telling our people the truth and what's involved in the journey. I've been working on this project, so we try to create more awareness, starting with different governments in Africa to create awareness to show them how the journey is and what are the dangers, and as well to define to them how it is in Germany. There is no place you just come, then you get a work permit. You need to understand the system. Germany are having value system. You can't just come and work. You need to have a working permit. Also, there's no people on the street hawking, selling something. Before you start up a business, you must have a business registration, take up some responsibility. So, and this is something they don't know. So, I mean, Germany in particular, though there are some other European countries that could be quite flexible. So, but the people need to know the truth. Before you embark on any journey, you need to study, make out time to study about the country, what they do, their cultures and everything before, so that it gives you more room and as well to know the danger of traveling illegally or unofficial, put it that way. So, because it's about your life, and your life is not just something that belongs to you. Your relations get affected. Because there are some time that lose their life, maybe their parents will die or get sick out of that. So it's my great concern to see that the people get the right information and also to get the awareness to know the life here. Is not paradise. People work, sometimes they even don't have much time. They work really hard in order to meet up their bills.
Okay.
Yeah.
In connection with the first question that we asked about status, and you said like we asked about how to stay here, and you said is it status or integration?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to say about the integration part of it? How can they integrate them?
Okay, with the integration part of it, it's just related to what I mentioned previously. What's important is if you want to live here, you have to know that the fundamental of living in a foreign country is to know the language, the communication. The communication is the lifeblood of every good relation. So if you be able to learn the language, you'll be able to communicate. So there are so many of misconceptions through language barriers. So if you be able to understand someone, that are what you call non-verbal communication, body languages. So if you know the languages, if you know how someone, sometimes you meet some Germans, they smile at you, for example, and they're smiling at you, of course, does not necessarily mean that they just like you. Yeah, because that's where some people make some mistakes. They are not really conscious. So you need to understand someone, you understand the culture and how they behave, and then you follow the same way. So they need to make out time to try to see that to be part of the society. Starting with the food, sometimes you try to see, you integrate yourself, you get to know how the German food or what the food eat, which food, not just of course the Germans, but equally other migrant or other people that resident, because we are living in a diverse society.
Yeah.
So
you eat some German food, because I know Nigerians that like to eat this fufu.
Yeah. So these are the things. So you try to eat some German food and try to eat some other things, because that's also some of the things that are creating a problem. There are so many families, you see, they have children, and because they always like to eat fufu, and these children that are born here,
Obono. Or is it called Obolo?
Obono, yeah, right. Yeah. So, like the children that are born here, they could be African kids, but they go to school, they eat different things, and they come home, they eat. I mean, it's not too bad, but it's also nice to have to mix it up, even the parents too, because you don't say, okay, use it just for the kid, then you will be you're busy eating your fufu and a whole lot of stuff. So you also have to eat with them, to share with them. It gives them some sense of belonging. So, and of course, if you have never integrated yourself in the food, so it will be very hard to compromise. So we need to learn to do that. There are so many other things in the sports or different occasion. So engage in diverse way to know how the society works. So even the law are made. Germany is a law country. It's actually certain that even a child of 19 years have to know certain laws. You have to know your right, because most times when you don't know your right, you are being denied certain things. And but by the time somebody confronts you wrongly, and you tell no, I don't think so. This is my right. This is my right. They'll get the awareness. Okay, you know you're right, and you get it. So that is part of it. You have to get yourself know the language. You have to know the law. You have to integrate yourself in cultural value, starting with the food. You have to get yourself integrated. Even like in other activities, sports, you get yourself engaged. If you are having some children, you try to support your child for a talent or different talents. If you register them in the sports verein or different things, either swimming or whatever thing, and not just to register them, you try to create out time to accompany them to get there. Even as you're going there, you try to make a new friends, relate to people, and if possible, that's what we call interactive. You also be part of it. By the time you're doing it, you become part of the society. You get to know, make some friends. You can invite some people to come and eat with you. Of also when they invite you, you go and try to eat their food. So because there are so many of the Africans, if they invite them, if it's not the food they really want to eat, because African like spices food. So and by the time you get to the German food, which is maybe it might not be tasty to you, but it's then you feel quite uncomfortable. I can understand you, but you have to learn to compromise. That is integration. Yeah.
Nice. So you also into the gospel songs, huh? Because I think you do something with music and singing. You could tell us something about that, and also what is your stand with God, your faith?
Okay. Actually, I did something with song. I sang. That was quite a long time ago. I was a part of the music group, or even in a choir where I sang. But then I later have a music group organization, which I organize, try to bring people together, because what we have to showcase our values, and those values is it's hidden in our talents. So most times the issue of discrimination or even racism is just because when somebody sees you as nobody, then you have to show what you have, what you can. God created each and everyone with diverse talents. By the time you'll be able to exhibit your talents to people, and you start to get a value. So and when somebody can see, okay, actually I can do this. Many places, if you go some places where they are singing and there is Africans among them, or even like the Michelins, they always talk. You can't talk singing. You can't, as if they just see as you just have that in you. Yeah. You're just a professional. So they are actually know that these are some of the values which we have. So and then you also have to see, and of course this is what we have. We have a value of singing, even with dancing. No matter how the music plays, the African, they always know how to get the rhythms and get it along. So these are also some of the talent we need to showcase. So by the time we showcase our value, and that will help in integration, that will equally help in intercultural relation to have a better society. So on this aspect, I try to engage through music, and which I know that is a talent you can get really among the Africans. Of course, I have a music group that is called Dynamic Voices of Africa, which is not only for the Africans. The group equally involve other. It's a platform for people to come and engage in the singing, and most times the songs or that concept was aimed to reach out to people, because most songs we sang is not basically only gospel songs, also some positive songs to communicate. It's a platform to communicate, to reach out to people, the good news. Yeah, I use the word the good news, so that maybe sometime you will love a song, it's so beautiful, and the harmony, but at some point you try to think about the lyrics and what it says. For example, we have a song that sang, lean on me when you're not strong, I'll be your friend. So that song's the lyrics is so beautiful, you love it, and how it's being sung. At some point you try to think about the information, and it could go a long way to change your mind, because music is something that communicates without any border. So I use the platform to reach out to people, and indirectly as part of my integration approach. In terms of religious belief, of course, I studied not only Christianity, I studied also other religions, Islam and Buddhism and different religions in my field of study. So, but of course, I'm personally a Christian. I try to see a way to bring a bridge between different religions to understand that the common goals, the fundamental goals for a religion is what we call the primacy of love. So in order to respect people from their own view of a religious approach, and to understand that what could bring you together, and actually what every other religion is talking about, love. So when we could love one another and give another people the rule, I mean, there will be no religious conflict. So, and through the process, I try to reach out to people the message of love. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So before we round up, what advice can you give an immigrant who wants to be a successful entrepreneur, just as you've made it?
Yeah, that's a critical question. I want to use the words success. To be, like you said, the word successful, to be a successful entrepreneur. Most times, success is not only about making it financially. You can be a successful entrepreneur based on you be able to build up a standard. To run a business, like for example in Germany, it's quite critical. There are people who start up a business. They have a huge capitals. Within 6 months or 1 year, they are out of business. It's not really because they are not having enough capital to run the business, or they are not making success. But what's involved is discipline. So you need to, before you start up a business, at the first place, you need to map out discipline on how you approach the business. At the first place, you need to have a business plan. So if you have a business plan, at some point, because there are sometimes you start up a business, by the time you're making progress, there are some place you need to expand your costs, enlarge your cost, and you need to keep up the discipline. Probably you've been quite persuasive in your pursuance, or even your client. By the time you make some money, so you try to undermine those clients because you don't feel that you have gotten it all. So to be consistent, and starting with time management. If you work out with your time and you work towards your goals and what you want to achieve, and as well, what I use the word to give back to what you've earned, your profit, because these are some of the things people suffered a lot. They start up a business, probably 10 people are calling you from home. By the time you're taking your capital to give out, you need to know money that is meant to give out, not your investment capital. Your investment capital, you have to see that you're keeping it, but then you can keep some money out. You can give out to help so that the business can be sustained. And also about taxation. These are quite some challenges. So be able to keep records of your sellings and discipline to some of the things that are requested. So that could help you to sustain your business. Because in Germany, it's something quite challenging that so many people could not run a business for a long period of time. So you need to have a discipline first, discipline of the time. If you're starting 10 o'clock, you must be there 10 o'clock. It's not if you're starting 10 o'clock, you don't feel comfortable, you get to your work at 12 o'clock. So by the time you do it, you are losing customers. So keep the discipline of time management, you keep the discipline of financial management, also you keep the discipline of your code of conduct. Because this is the challenges people have. Even sometimes they'll make a success, their code of conduct will change. So they are having a problem to manage. It's one thing to manage business, but another thing to manage success. By the time your business is taken to a different level, you have to change your attitude. You shouldn't change your attitude, by the way. But you keep your attitude, but somehow you enlarge your costs, but you also know how to manage success. By the time you keep doing that, you'll be a successful businessman or woman.
Just give us a parting shot. just look straight in the camera and give us a parting shot.
Okay, so it has been a great honor this evening to talk to you people. I think you will learn one or two things. You take a leaf from our discussion today. I just want to say a few words. So if you want to be successful in life, in any way you find yourself, you don't necessarily need to come to Germany. You can make it at any place where you are. You just try to see what is within your environment, to work out, to see the best out of it, to be consistent in what you're doing, to have a goal, to have a focus, and work very hard. You always get to where you want to be. But if you're living as a diaspora, what I want to advise you is to understand that the challenges which you're having, everyone are having it. So only you have to be focused and on your goals, and don't let any distractions to keep you out of your goals. Mostly this period of pandemic, there are a lot of people who stays at home, they could not bear it, and they just thought that the world is over them. There are other people are undergoing this different problem. So, but if you don't know what to do, you try to play some music, you try to listen to some news or television at some point, but be conscious of your time and don't try to engage all your time or on internet, on Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever. So you now have to be conscious of how you manage your time by the time you're doing it. And also very important, you eat healthy. And you can also make sports at home. So, and which is actually very important because if you cannot exercise your body, then it could indirectly affect your immune system. So your metabolic process can be kind of deteriorating. So you try to do sports and keep fit, balance, and you will be a successful person. Thank you.
Thank you. So that was Honorable Kevin Uguru from ESM. Stay tuned for more. Bye.
Bye.